Okay, just a quick little video to show how to read text, use OCR, and also use some barcode reading on a Verisens vision camera. So the image has already been set up correctly. We've got the correct lighting. We can see the text and the code and everything we need within the area that's required, so the field of view of the camera. Of course, when setting up a job, you need to be able to make sure that the camera sees the entirety of what you want to see on a repeatable basis, and we can do that via correct setup and also triggering. So let's go into the program and get it started. So first we go into the tools. I always suggest that we should use a part location tool, as we're not too sure if there's going to be any slight angular irrepeatability on presentation under the camera. So we can use a part location tool. It might be something like unique, like this little feature here or this contour here, to be able to check and locate on. So let's do something like that and say, right, we'll look for it somewhere over here. Teach it and you'll see what the model looks like. So it picks up that shape quite well. And then when we add our OCR tools and barcode tools, as this moves, also these boxes will move with it. Okay, so let's go on to the OCR part. So we go to identification here and go to text. Let's try and pick up on this batch number here. So what we do is put a box around it, and automatically the sensor guesses what it thinks it can read. So it says 6FW0021. If I move that out of the way, that's exactly what it is. Let's put it back in. And if this is exactly what we were expecting, we can just ask the sensor to say, right, I expect this every time for the batch number to be this. So please give me a pass or fail on whether it reads that or not. And we can do this by telling the sensor what we expect to see. So you can see here, it's automatically guessed that it's a number, which is denoted by the number 1, 2 letters, which is denoted by AA, and then 4 numbers, which is 111. And this is using a mask. If it comes in a date format or numerals or any of these other categories, you can then ask them to put the format in that way. Just a bit of details, you can give the sensor a bit of help by telling it what kind of font it is. In this case, it is quite a heavily printed font, not a dot print. So we can do that. We can choose whether we want to use a fast or robust algorithm, so it's dependent on the line speed that you have. And the bottom bar here allows us to change the threshold on what it believes the outlines of the targets are. So you can see as I manipulate this into a bad way, you can see you can't read it anymore and what it does to the actual text. So on the initial teach, it found what it was and guessed what was the best. We've got the ability here to play around with it to make it look better. So something like that is fine, and it still reads exactly what I want it to read. It's all in green. It matches what we originally thought it was. You can also play around with the characters, whether it's dark on bright or light on dark. And in this case, of course, it is dark printed on a bright background. Also, we can say whether there is any mirroring of the text or not. And you have the option of top down or right and left. But we don't have any in this scenario. Again, we can remove small characters if there was little black markings near or in between the readings of the text. We can filter those out using this, and you'll see live what happens to the removal of them. And of course, we can here adjust the weight of what the character it sees. So is it very thin character or a thick character. And if you can see, if I manipulate that, what happens to the weight of the text that it sees. And you can see when it goes all green again as well. So just to show you the worst case scenario there. That looks about right. Okay, so now we're okay with that. You'll see here in the tools, it's all okay. And now we can do the other text, which in this case is the expiry date. So again, choose your tool and select the text via the box, what you wish to read, and go through the same process. And again, straight away, it's picked it up, no errors, hasn't thought that the 0 is an O or anything like that. It's got it correctly, so it's gone letter, 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 and then 4 numbers, which is correct, MAR 2019. And again, we can do the same manipulation if required, but it picks that up quite well straight away. Now we can add a barcode tool. So we have a choice between a 1D barcode and a 2D barcode. This one you can see is a 1D barcode. So click that and click OK. And again, all you do is put a box around it. Now I've done it over here because automatically it does the reading direction as horizontal, but in this case the code is vertical. So I just use this little tab here to turn it around, move it over to the barcode there, just make the box big enough to be able to read it. I click teach, and then it automatically picks up what the code is read, what language it is. So it's telling me it's an EAN13. You may know what the code is already. And again, you have a choice of whether you want to use fast or robust parameters, depending on the speed of the line. And if it's a tricky code to read, you may need to change these parameters. But in this case, it reads it very, very well. And again, just like in the OCR part, if we know that this is the correct code to be read, and we want to pass-fail if every other code matches it, we can just put that as the expected. And off we go. You can play around with the appearance and the other code parameters if you go into the auto detect on teach if required. So that's that done. So now we've got all things passing. We can read the barcode, we can read the batch number, we can read the expiry date, and all of this is dependent on when we can see the feature on the label that we expect to orientate this label altogether. Okay, so what we can do now is also output the string of information if required to the PLC. Rather than just pass and fail, if you want to take a string of information, you can do. So we go to the output process interface, select the text, and select what the red text is. And you can see here, if I get rid of these start characters and separators, and here you can see it's outputting the information here, 6FW0021. I can add the other string information here, say from text 2, and red text, and you can see it says MAR 2019. And if I also want to give the barcode string information, I can do here. If I do have need a special format for my PLC to see, so if I need to start the string of information with some characters, maybe A, B, C, you want to separate them using commas, and end it with, say, YY, you can see how it's inserted that there. So the string of information will now preview as ABC, then it's the first string of information we saw, then we've got our comma marks, then the date code, then the comma mark again, and then the barcode string information, and then ending the string, the data string, with YY as we've denoted here. So there we are, that's essentially it. And the job is ready to then activate and run.